Hello, welcome to a brief run through of Palantir's quarterly earnings presentation. I'll just run through it. I'm a retail investor in the firm. I've been around since DPO, and I have probably too much money in these leaps that I have for 2028. Um, and so with that, just running through, kind of giving it a glance, and then running through the balance sheet. Maybe not so much on cash flows. So I just run through and have a feel, obviously, because this has been one of my largest investments, position sizing, whatnot, concentration, maybe a little obsession. I don't quite know. It spent too much time with it, and for periods of time, you like playing with your home runs, but then at the same time, obviously, you want to offload it because you don't. Sometimes you might not want to stick around too long with something, but at the same time, maybe there's corrective measures. So, okay, so that doesn't do. Obviously, this is just a standard legal from the firm. Here's kind of where they are comparatively on their rule of 40. I forget the totality of that. It's just kind of a performance of, I guess, their tech. And you have them kind of up here with the other five, or I guess including the other five, including them six, around that rule of 160, whatever. Some tech stuff I don't quite remember, as it's been a while. Journal highlights, I'm not really going to go through that. I'm just going to jump straight into the financials. Where obviously I think this is kind of tooting your own horn, but you kind of have to, it seems. So here's the general financials. The company's scaling like crazy, right? If the firm's doubling, one of my personal gripes or confusions is how growth and operating growth and scalability and stickiness of the operation doesn't really translate into equity appreciation. It does, but not quite necessarily. Like, okay, you're a beaten dog, you might be overvalued. Who knows? Who knows? The market knows. Institutions know. Individual investors know. But obviously, what's going on now? The growth has been crazy, right? I think internally, if you've been around for a while, it's just impressive, and it's like nothing quite misses. But saying that would be ironic, where the share price depreciates tomorrow during the open market rather than after hours. General scaling, kind of run it through. Business growth when it comes to commercial, it's essentially doubled year over year. Commercial as well, government not so much, but almost. Same thing goes for Rev. I believe that's from both of these are from last year, right? Commercial Rev growth, commercial growth. Wonder what the difference is here. I see no difference. Q2 to Q2, Q2 to Q2. I'm missing something, but whatever. Right, total rev, acceleration. The company's still accelerating, especially with AIP. Customer count still scaling. Continual realized showing. Deal making. The war chest. Still no debt, which at a certain point it seems like you'd want to use debt, but hey, if you're using investor or using investment shares, whatever, to fund a firm, then so be it. Journal speaking for forward statements, right? Yeah. And then you have your appendix. Now, obviously, I don't have much take here because it's kind of just cut and dry. But if you give me 1 second, I can flip over to the Edgar filing. This is where all the stuff you actually really care about should be, right? So here's your 10Q. Right, this is general P&L. Oh, excuse me, not the P&L, but the summary and breakdown of, how many shares or how much your proverbial share is earning you in company operations, essentially. And running down here, right, this is kind of the money spread. So let's see. In a year, it has gone up essentially double there. Over here, right. Sometimes you look at the stuff and you kind of get dyslexic. Okay, so that's the cumulative. All right, so cumulative is on the right, and then degenerate quarterly is on the left. Okay, whack. It's tripled there. Net income's tripled. What about that? There's just general kind of overview stuff, and I think this is what like the nerd shit I liked in my finance classes, but we didn't really dive into stuff. It just kind of like looking at it and kind of projecting or making up an analysis. But for when you follow a company when it was not profitable to being profitable is kind of, I don't know, easy to storytell. But obviously, this is very cut and dry and hard to storytell. Here's the asset book. My face is in the way, but you can see that. And just generally speaking, hey, look at that. It's grown, 50, not 50%, well, close to 50%. On the asset side of things, equity. Where's the equity? Where's the shareholder equity? Stock. Oh my. Stock's gone up 500 shares, 500,000, but that's probably 500 million. Yeah, so they're funding the thing with the stock comp, stock issuance, but I don't quite understand why that atrophies the stock so much, or the stock price. I will look into that later. See if adding more due to dilution is a worthwhile strategy, or to accommodate for a dilution. But hey, whatever. Um, scaling up, do what you got to do. And yeah, total equity scaling, climbing as well. Look at the liabilities. Liabilities barely gone up, and the equities gone up as well. But see, and this is just the cash flow. Yeah, that's done well as well. It doubled and some, and then not too um big on this piece, as this is not really my cup of tea or my ball. What do you call it? My court, where I'm more into the operating kind of side of things. We're just looking at cash flows and just general financial statements. But obviously, like visually, is this working out? Is this not working? What happened here? What didn't happen here? Probably a bit dry, but certain names are a lot more intriguing than other names. Put it that way, right? I don't think many people would want me or anyone really to look at. I don't know, pick your poison widget company, and just choose IBM for a random example. I don't think many people really care to just run through IBM's numbers. So earnings is in a few minutes. I'm gonna listen to that and upload this pronto. So thanks for listening. Bye.